Good evening, friends. The new debt ceiling deal could negatively affect Social Security payments for millions of Americans. Friends, welcome back to my channel. This is today's daily news report and fourth stimulus check update. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and watch until the end of this video to learn how to enter next Friday's Walmart gift card giveaways.
Thanks, Jen. Can you tell us anything about the conversation with President Biden and Senator McConnell last week, what they spoke about? And also, could you clarify how many times they've spoken directly since he took office?
I'm just not going to detail that further from here. He has known Senator McConnell for a long time. He does believe there are areas they can agree and can work together, and he's going to continue to seek opportunities to do that.
Also, today, there's some reporting today that Senator Sinema says she has directly communicated to the White House what she is and is not willing to do in these negotiations. Is that accurate? And if so, can you give us any sense of what your understanding is of where she is, in particular on prescription drug prices?
We'll let her speak to her position on that particular issue. I will note that lowering the cost of prescription drugs is something the president is deeply committed to, and the vast majority of the American people would like to see happen. It makes sense for Medicare to be able to negotiate the price of prescription drugs. That's why he proposed it and put it in this package. But I'll let her speak to her position.
Been in direct contact with the White House on this? Is that accurate?
We have, of course. We've been in consistent contact with Senator Sinema from a high level. Of course, as you know, the president has spoken with her and met with her a number of times. She's been in touch with senior members of our White House team, and we're working with her. We're working with Senator Manchin. We're working with a range of Democrats to move this legislation forward. Go ahead.
Thank you. Reuters is reporting that the administration is in touch with oil and gas producers about how to bring down rising fuel costs. I was wondering if you could say which companies and if you've asked them to increase production, and if so, how they responded.
I'm actually not aware of any contact with oil and gas companies around this particular issue.
There's other reporting that suggests that administration officials, including Secretary Granholm, Vilsack, and Blinken, met last night to discuss rising fuel prices. I was wondering if you could confirm those names, and also what are the options that they were discussing.
Well, we are very well aware for a range of issues, and we should talk about those.
Lawmakers in Washington have agreed to a short-term increase of the debt ceiling, postponing the need for the U.S. Treasury to decide on who gets paid, but that agreement only gives a matter of weeks breathing space. If a longer-term solution is not achieved before December 3rd, 2021, the estimated date that the U.S. Treasury will not be able to meet all its financial obligations, then questions about what payments the U.S. government can make come into play. The United States Treasury can recover roughly 60% of its day-to-day financial obligations through money it takes in, and that's mainly through taxes. This is according to an analysis by the Bipartisan Policy Center. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned Congress that the federal government would exhaust its cash on hand by October 18th if no action was taken, leading to extraordinary measures. With the agreement passed between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate to raise the debt ceiling by $480 billion, that will give the U.S. Treasury breathing room until around December 3rd. However, due to the unpredictability of the cash flows of the Treasury takes in, a longer-term solution will be needed to be reached before then. Operations of the federal government were also given a short-term extension, averting a government shutdown at the end of September through a stopgap bill. Lawmakers agreed to keep the U.S. federal government funded until December 3rd, making that date an even more critical deadline. Should the U.S. Treasury no longer be able to meet all financial obligations of the U.S., choices will need to be made about what bills get paid and which are rolled over. This is unmapped territory for the department, but beyond pulling a rabbit out of the hat, which the Treasury has said it won't do, the department could proceed in a couple of ways. The department could either prioritize payments or make a full day's worth of payments once there are sufficient funds. The former would mean some obligations get paid on time, while others would be delayed. The latter would result in all payments except for interest payments being delayed, but would potentially be easier for the computerized system to manage. both options would run into some legal trouble. There is uncertainty about how Social Security benefits would be affected in either of the before-mentioned scenarios, as payments are financed from a dedicated payroll tax. The Social Security Administration also has its own trust funds, which would give it more wiggle room. The money that the agency received through taxes does not cover the amount it needs to pay out in benefits each month to about 65 million beneficiaries. Even though the agency staggers payments on a weekly basis, when it has used up its cash on hand, the agency may have to wait to send out the following batches of payments until there is enough money. Chief economist at the Bipartisan Policy Center, Jason Fichtner, told the New York Times one possible workaround would be for the Treasury to purchase special issue bonds from the program's trust fund and then turn around and issue new bonds to replace them. So in theory, that would not fall foul out of the debt ceiling limit, and benefits could be paid on time. So friends, what are your thoughts about what's going on in Congress? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Key word for this video, friends, is football. If you would like to enter this coming Friday's Walmart gift card giveaways, please like this video, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and comment below the keyword. Thank you so much, friends. If Congress does not raise the debt ceiling, the day when the U.S. Treasury will no longer be able to meet all the financial obligations, which is now estimated to be December 3rd, the Social Security Administration may have to start delaying some payments. According to the agency's payment schedule, supplemental security income payments go out on the first Wednesday of each month, which this year is December 1st, just 2 days before potential default. Demands for answers about stimulus payments have flooded the Internal Revenue Service call centers, frustrating countless Americans who cannot get through. The IRS has faced a dire staffing issue since the onset of this crisis, forcing the closure of many help centers. But meanwhile, calls for assistance exploded fourfold as Americans sought information about stimulus checks and tax relief. Over the most recent tax filing season, only 3% of the 85 million calls to the IRS line reached a telephone assister. The IRS call overload has worsened in recent weeks as the October 15th tax extension deadline looms, with many Americans seeking last-minute advice. It may take a while for the IRS to get caught up on tax returns, so sadly, many Americans may have to keep waiting for their tax refund checks. Friends, thank you so much for joining me here this evening. I greatly appreciate all of you who are with me today. If you would like to enter this coming Friday's Walmart gift card giveaways, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, like this video, and comment below this keyword